is a video technically on day 3 of graphing coordinates, but we're going to be doing a little bit more than just graphing coordinates. So everybody, I want you to take a look at your page of notes that we already covered. We already know an XY plane. We already know that the quadrants 1, 2, 3, 4 are going counterclockwise. We know how to graph coordinates on that plane, like the coordinate 5, 6. It's just a location. And how do you get to that location? You start at the origin, which means beginning. You go 5 on the X, 6 on the Y. You end up at the location 5, 6. So we should be good at graphing coordinates. We already did this exercise up here, and I do want to jump to this lower portion of our notes from yesterday. For the first time, we're going to be looking at equations that have 2 variables. So let's compare the old 1 variable equation with the new 2 variable equation. So let's look at the 1 variable equation. Everybody knows x plus 3 equals 5. Everybody knows how to solve it. Everybody knows the answer. What's the answer here to x plus 3 equals 5? 2. See, it only has one answer. Why is the answer 2? Because 2 plus 3 equals 5. 3 plus 3 doesn't equal 5. Negative 2 plus 3 doesn't equal 5. The only answer is 2 plus 3 equals 5. That's a single variable equation. Now, when we have a 2 variable equation, like x plus y equals 5, then you really have an infinite amount of answers. It could be 2 plus 3 equals 5, or it could be 1 plus 4 equals 5, or it could be like 5 plus 0 equals 5. It could even be like 6 plus negative 5 equals 5, or 7 plus negative 2 equals 5, or 8 plus negative 3 equals 5, or 9 plus negative 4, or 10 plus negative 5. How many answers are there? Infinite. You can keep going forever. You could like go all the way to 100. 100 plus negative 95 equals 5. Or 1,000 plus negative 995, it also equals 5. There's just an infinite amount of answers. Okay? So you could say, okay, 2 and 3, x equals 2 and y equals 3. That's an answer to this equation because it'll make it true. So you could write out x equals 2 and y equals 3. Or a shortcut of writing this long answer is to simply use coordinates. Because when you look at a coordinate, like this coordinate right here, that's really saying that x equals 2 and that y equals 3. So instead of writing it out like this, x equals 2 and y equals 3, we could just write it as a coordinate, 2, 3. Okay? So right now I'm just going over these notes, and we need to just understand the concept. Okay? A 2 variable equation has an infinite amount of answers. A single variable equation has one answer. X plus 3 equals 5, the answer is 2. So if I say, show me the answer, there it is, x equals 2. If I say x plus y equals 5, and I say, show me the answer, or answers, you could start writing answers, like 2 and 3, or like 1 and 4, or like 6 and negative 1. But there's so many answers, you can't even fill, I mean, you need pages and pages. Actually, you'll never be able to find all the answers, because it's an infinite amount of answers. So the question is, how could you represent all the solutions to this equation by graphing the coordinates on the xy plane and drawing the line and putting arrows on it? So let's show you how to write those infinite, or how to represent those infinite amount of answers. So right here, let's look at this equation, everybody. We have x minus y equals 2. What take away what is equal to 2?
3 minus 2.
So you're saying x being 3 and y being what? 1. That will definitely work and give you the answer 2, right? But now instead of writing it like that, let's use coordinate format. So let's just say 3, 1. Because that's saying x equals 3 and y equals 1. So 3 take away 1, that's 2. What other answers work?
4 and 2.
4 and 2. Let me write that down. 4 and 2. Or what? 5 and 3. Or 6 and 4. Or 7 and 8. I mean, no, 7 and what? 7 and 5. 8 and 6. 9. 104 and 102. Okay, so we get the idea that this goes on forever. Yeah. So what we're going to do is plot a couple of them, not all of them. Let's do a couple of them, like 3 and 1. Let's go to 3 and 1. 3 on the x, 1 on the y. It'll be right there. And I might as well plot 4 and 2. 4 on the x, 2 on the y, it's right there. Or 5 and 3. 5 on the x, 3 on the y, it's right there. As you could see, those dots perfectly line up. Okay? Nobody used the number 0. We could have said that an answer is 2 minus 0, right? And where would that be? 2 on the x, 0 on the y would be right there, as you could see, right? Nobody used negative numbers. We could have said, like,
negative 5 and...
let's say negative 1, make it a little easier.
Negative 1 and negative 1.
Okay, think about this though. Think about this. If you plug in negative 1, and remember this is an x value, so what would your y value have to be? Negative 1 minus a negative to make it positive so you could end up with a positive answer. So what y value would work right here? Minus a negative something.
Negative 3?
Yeah, minus a negative 3. I know that that's kind of difficult to see for all of us. But if I were to write down negative 1 for x minus a negative 3 for y, the minus would change to plus, and that really would give us the answer 2. So this is definitely an answer, negative 1, negative 3. Let me plot that. Negative 1 on the x, negative 3 on the y, put a dot there. As you could see, all of these dots line up. So, like we said, there's an infinite amount of answers. But what we're going to do is just draw a line right through those dots. And we're going to put an arrow on that line. And those arrows represent the infinite amount of answers. So, Enrique, you said 104 and 102. That's an answer, right? Now, imagine this. If I were to go out from 0, 104 units this way, way over here. And then go up 102 units this way, way up here. Guess what? It's going to land perfectly on that line way up there. Okay? So when you put arrows on it, it really does represent the infinite amount of answers. Okay? So I want to stop my video right here, but I want you guys to understand something from this video. What is there to understand? How could we represent the infinite amount of answers that exist to an equation? By graphing the coordinates, the answers, and then putting arrows on it. Okay? Infinite amount of answers. Those arrows represent the infinite amount of answers. So why do we graph? To represent the infinite amount of answers that exist to any two-variable equation. Now, on the next video, I want to explain the back side of this page. Now, I know you guys don't have a back side. I need to hand that out right now. But on the next video, I'll explain the back side of this page, because this page was originally a two-sided page. So let me give you the other side, and let me jump to the next video.